welcome to today's On This Day in History. I'm Claire Ridgway. I think you should know me by now, but if you're new to this series, welcome. There's lots to catch up on. I'm Claire Ridgway. I'm author of these books here and some others, and also founder of the Tudor Society and Anne Boleyn Files websites, and a Tudor nutter. I can admit to that to you. Okay, on this day in Tudor history, the 9th of February 1542, Jane Boleyn, Lady Rochford, who was the widow of George Boleyn, who of course was Queen Anne Boleyn's brother, Jane was rowed down the Thames to the Tower of London to prepare for her execution, which would of course take place on the 13th of February. Now, Jane had served as one of Catherine Howard's ladies when Catherine Howard was married to Henry VIII, and she'd been arrested and taken to the Tower of London in November 1541. After the fall of Catherine Howard, it was when her mistress's colourful past and also her secret meetings with Thomas Culpeper had come to light, been investigated. That came to light, but also Jane's involvement in helping Culpeper and Catherine meet while the royal couple were on their progress to the north. Jane was involved in helping them have these secret assignations. So all that came to light, and she was arrested and taken to the Tower of London. However, on the third day after her imprisonment at the Tower, Imperial Ambassador Eustace Chapuis tells us that Lady Rochford was seized with a fit of madness by which her brain is affected. And Chapuis goes on to explain that Jane was removed from the Tower of London due to her breakdown or whatever it was, and was taken to the home of Sir John Russell House on the Strand, Sir John Russell being Lord Admiral. She was put under the care of his wife, Anne Russell, and Henry VIII was so concerned about Jane. Well, actually, he wasn't concerned about her at all. He was concerned that her breakdown might not allow him to execute her and punish her. He was so concerned about this that he sent his physicians to Russell House to visit her and to help care for her to remedy the situation. Now, by the beginning of December 1541, Jane seemed to be recuperating, improving. Chapuis described how now and then she recovers her reason. So she still wasn't well. She was still obviously, having sort of signs of lunacy, not being entirely with it, but she was sort of getting better. But the king wanted to be in no doubt that she would suffer for her crime, for helping, his wife cover up her meetings with Thomas Culpeper. And on the 11th of February 1542, an act of attainder against Catherine and Jane received royal assent. Now, an act of attainder means that Parliament find the person guilty of treason rather than them having a trial. This act stated that Catherine and Jane were convicted and attainted of high treason and shall suffer accordingly. Now, on that same day, the same day that this act of attainder received royal assent, there was another act. This was the act for due process to be had in high treason in cases of lunacy or madness. And that received royal assent in the House of Lords that same day. It stated that a person becoming insane after the supposed commission of treason might be tried, or losing his rational faculties after attainder might be executed. So even though Jane was still showing signs of some type of fit of madness, as Chapuis calls it, it still meant that if she carried on like that and even got worse, that she could still suffer accordingly, i.e. be executed for treason. So regardless of her mental state, she'd be executed. Jane Boleyn, Lady Rochford, and Catherine Howard, the former queen, were executed by beheading in the confines of the Tower of London on the 13th of February 1542 and laid to rest in the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, which is also in the Tower confines. Now, a bit of trivia for you here. When Mary I, who was, of course, Henry VIII's daughter, when she came to the throne, she actually repealed the legislation regarding insane people and high treason. From her reign onwards, people that showed signs of lunacy couldn't be executed for treason in this way. But not only that, she also repealed the Act of Attainder against Catherine Howard and Jane Boleyn. Now, this wasn't because Mary thought that these two women weren't guilty of treason. It was simply because the attainder had not been signed by King Henry VIII. It is believed that the King's council, his Privy Council, didn't want to upset the king, stress the king by making him sign, this paperwork that would have him, killing his wife. And so instead of him signing it, the Great Seal was attached to the Act of Attainder, and Mary didn't see that as legal. So she did overturn various Acts of Attainder that she didn't believe were legal. So some trivia for you there. So that's what happened on this day in history, the 9th of February 1542. I'll be back tomorrow with another On This Day in History video. You can subscribe by just clicking on that subscribe button, and also hitting the bell means that you'll also be notified of new videos. But I'll be back very soon. Take care. Bye bye.